Cocktails and Cheese.
Hello.
Very exciting.
Oh, slancha. No, how do you say it? Never mind. Keep going.
Whatever. My name is Sarah. I'm here to I just show up and I drink, and Rachel does all the work. This is Rachel. She's going to show us how to make some fun cocktails tonight. We've got a cheese plate to pair, which we'll go over in a minute. Gina's in the background. We also have a fun studio audience in the corner, so if you hear some snickering over there, that's what that is.
It's not a laugh track, okay?
Gina's behind the computer. If you have any questions along the way, there she is. You can type those into the chat. She'll either answer them or shoot them our way, and we will answer them. But we've got our plate right in front here, kind of show you what things are. Should probably take the lid off.
Oh, yeah. Let me grab the crackers so you can hold it.
Rachel's going to open the crackers, but we did as much green as we possibly could to really feel the St. Patrick's Day spirit.
We like a theme over here at Venissimo. I don't know if you've noticed.
I love a theme, and Rachel's forced to love a theme.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So top left-hand side, we have the Lemon Myrtle Chev for the first cocktail, and then also for the first cocktail, top right, the Tipperary Brie. And then bottom left, what was that one again?
What? Oh, the Mossfield.
The Mossfield Irish, kind of like Gouda-esque.
Yeah, Gouda style.
Yeah. And then bottom right is the Garocha. It's a Spanish kind of semi-soft goat's milk cheese. In your little accoutrement tub here is some tapenade I made for the class, made with green olives, of course. We have more green olives, Castelvetrano olives up here, cornichons, little kiwi, and then some fun chocolate-covered espresso beans for our second cocktail. So, very exciting.
I'm very excited,
yes.
Especially about the first pairing here. We'll get into it. Okay, guys, we decided to do St. Patrick's theme. I'm not really sure why, but I'm really glad we chose it. And like we said, we have a studio audience, and in order to lend some authenticity to the proceedings, we do have the owner of an Irish passport here tonight. She has approved both cocktails, yes, on behalf of your nation. Yes. I may have forced her into saying that, but here we are. So we have the cucumber melon shamrock. Again, it's just a cucumber melon cocktail. I decided to add shamrock on.
It's
fun.
green.
It's great. It's going to be green. And then we're going to do the Irish coffee teeny, otherwise known as an espresso martini. Yes. So we're going to start with the cucumber melon, and we're going to start with the garnish because
so that we don't forget.
Yeah, we've made this mistake before, and I only gave you all one cucumber. So we need to start with the garnish, and then we'll chop up some of the cucumber and use that in the drink. So as you know, Sarah is the garnish queen.
Yes.
And she will show us the garnish for the first cocktail.
No glitter today. It's been vetoed. Sorry. We have a short little squatty glass, which is fun. And we're going to use that for our cocktails. You've got your cucumber, and what you're going to do is grab preferably a green peeler here. And then you
guys, Sarah has matched everything. She made me grab the green bar towel, the green knife. What else?
The green peeler.
The green. Oh, and the green espresso.
The green espresso cup, which we won't be using, but it's cute. Lay your cucumber flat on your cutting board and then just peel strips. I can't do it holding it up. Your first couple of strips are just going to be peel. You don't want those.
Maybe your dog wants them. I don't know. Who likes
your
cucumbers?
compost bin.
Yeah.
Yes, here we go.
Environmentally friendly.
Yes. So strips here, you're going to go about halfway down the cucumber. Once you start to get to the seeds, the strip will start to break. So then what you'll do is just take your cucumber and flip it over and peel the other side. So you'll probably need like 2 strips per drink. So we'll just need 4. That's math, right?
Yeah. Doing great. We usually have to whip out the calculator, but we're nailing it today.
So, do you have ice?
Yeah.
Great. So you want to line the glass with your cucumber strip, kind of in a swirl design. And since the cucumber was just cut, it's not dry at all, it should stick to the inside of your cup. We batched some cocktails for a mocktail class recently, and we had cut the cucumbers ahead of time, and then they got kind of dry and weren't sticking to the glass. So either keep your cucumbers in water if you want to prep them ahead of time, or just prep them straight away and put them in the cup. So see them kind of swirled and cute in there, and then to get them to stay, if it's takes some time to make your cocktail, I'd go ahead and put the ice in.
Who am I joking with these tongs? We're gonna drink them. I'm just using my hands. Excellent. All right, and while she's doing the second one, do you have any more garnish insight to report?
Oh, for this cocktail?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, great.
Not today.
All right, you can be Quiet now.
Sorry. Ice, please.
There we go. All right, excellent. So the inspiration for this cocktail is Midori, which, if you haven't heard of it, is this bright green liqueur. It's not Irish, it's actually Japanese, but it's green. And I wanted to use it. I had never used it before. This was my first time tasting it. Was your first time tasting it too? Yeah. So it's Japanese. It's made by Suntory, where they make really good whiskeys. If you've had like Suntory Toki, and so a really big beverage company in Japan. It is melon flavored. They say Japanese melon. It's actually flavored with yubari and muskmelon. Yubari is a cantaloupe cultivar, so very similar to cantaloupe. They grow it in Hokkaido. And muskmelon is just cantaloupe. And fun fact, they listed when I was like reading about it, they're like, in Australia, a cantaloupe is called a rock melon, and in South Africa, it's called a spanspeck. And I was like, great, very exciting. So it's melon flavored, and it is the Japanese word for green. That's why it's called Midori. And they've been making it since 1964, and it has about 20% ABV. So it is a liqueur. It's higher than wine. It's lower than whiskey or gin or anything. So for this cocktail, we're gonna actually both of them we're gonna use a shaker. So I have 2 shakers just because I don't have time to go and rinse them, but you can just use the same one and rinse them out between. So as always, we're gonna build our ingredients in the shaker without ice first because we don't want it to get too watered down. So we have our little bottles here. Everything should be pre-measured for 2 cocktails. So I just say put 2 in at a time, shake it, and pour it. That makes it easier, especially if you're at a party, you're pouring for a bunch of people. Just make 2, 3 at a time. I feel like 3 is max, really, probably in a shaker.
Good to know.
So I did say put all ingredients in a shaker with ice, and that is incorrect. Sarah pointed that out to me beforehand. So I do apologize. We're putting everything in except for the tonic and the rosemary. Although you could put the rosemary in. It would definitely impart a
more rosemary flavor.
Exactly. So the first thing we're going to do is I'll have you chop little slices of cucumber. Do you mind, Chef? Thank you.
I'm not a one-trick pony.
So the a little thinner, actually, if you don't mind. on a diagonal. I'm just kidding. So
would you like me to tornade this cucumber?
I don't know what that means, but yes, please.
It's
What's
a 7-sided football shape.
Oh my God, yeah. Can you work on that?
No.
Okay. So the idea of cutting up the cucumbers and putting it in the bottom and muddling it is just to impart more cucumber flavor, and it's a good way to use your cucumbers that you've already kind of screwed up by getting the garnish. It's a good way to use them. That's perfect.
Great.
So we put a bunch of cucumber, probably like 3/4 of it. You could put less, you could put more, in the bottom of the shaker. We're gonna use this really aggressive muddler that Sarah got me for Christmas.
Something like that.
Yeah. And we're going to muddle. So you can use anything. You can use the back of the bottom of a spoon, a wooden spoon. I mean, it doesn't need to be.
Like a rolling pin even too, because that's like bigger than the back of a spoon. Because Rachel was doing with a spoon earlier and she broke the tip of the spoon.
Did you really need to share that?
You tried to hide it like I didn't just see you.
I know, she was looking right at me and I was just like... Yeah, so these are the sorts of shenanigans we get up to at Benissimo during the day. If you're ever like, what's going on back there? That's exactly what's going on. So we're gonna muddle it a little bit. It's really in there. I'm gonna break it up here. All right. So the idea is we're gonna strain this out so you're not gonna get cucumber chunks in your drink. Some people like cucumber chunks. You do you. Whatever. Doesn't matter. As long as it tastes good. And you're getting your healthy greens. Yes, so I did blend it. So part of the cocktail is we're adding cucumber juice. And I made that by just cutting up cucumber skin and all, putting it in a blender, making a very strange looking smoothie, and then straining it through a fine mesh strainer. I actually double strained it because I really don't like chunks in my, I don't know, I'm not a pulp gal. We're not doing that. So it's like super strained, but you probably only need to strain it once. And you kind of just like push it through with a spatula and then you get pure cucumber juice.
Very nice.
So yeah, you could do it without the cucumber juice if you're not a super fan of it, but I think it's fun. So we're gonna start with 0.75 ounces of Midori. So again, this is 1.5 ounces, enough for 2. Feel free to taste the Midori on its own. It's a little bit bitter. So, wow, it's so melony.
Yeah, it smells like candy.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how this is like straight up Bath and Body Works, like early
Cocktail.
2000s, like
Cucumber melon.
yeah, exactly, cucumber melon stuff.
Body mist.
So this stuff's really strong. So even if you want to start with just like leaving a little bit in the jar, feel free. I'm just gonna go for it.
Load it up.
Yeah, I mean we did several iterations of this, and this is what we landed on. But as always with cheese and with alcohol, just what you like is what you like. No judgment here. All right. We're going to put all the cucumber juice, so basically 1 ounce of the cucumber juice in each cocktail, so we're doing 2 ounces. And this is really healthy due to the cucumber juice.
It's my green juice for today.
Exactly. We should have drank this for breakfast.
I know.
And
really
then
great day.
1.5 ounces of gin, and I would choose actually you could choose whatever gin. This is a London Dry, but like a Hendrick's would be awesome in this because this kind of has cucumber vibes anyway. You could put vodka in it if that's your preference. We just are obsessed with gin, and that's where we are.
We also hate vodka.
So there we go. Okay. So then we're going to put ice on it. Whoop. I would also like to point out that this shaker is from OXO, and OXO makes some of my favorite barware products. The said attendant, who has an Irish passport, also works for OXO. I'm not going to give out her name because she's very high up, and we don't want to, yeah, exactly. We don't want to mess up her reputation. But I do love these OXO products. This cocktail shaker is my absolute favorite, and I'm obsessed with their little measuring cup. I use this instead of a jigger, just because, why not? It's cute. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to shake it up. And ideally you'd have a little more ice in here, but we're low on ice, so this is just how we're living our lives, fast and loose. We put ice in the glass like you saw, and then we're basically just gonna take it out. So if you're using this sort of cocktail shaker where there's already a strainer, you won't need to strain it again. If you are using a Boston shaker, like I'm gonna use for the espresso, for the Irish coffee teeny, you will need a strainer. So I'm just gonna pour it, but again, you could use something like this, a strainer, Hawthorne strainer, if you're using one of those. So I'm just gonna do half in each.
Oh, that is green.
So green. And then sometimes if you're using one of these, the cucumbers get in the way and you just kind of have to swirl it around a little bit to get more liquid to come out. Leave a little room in whatever cup you decide. And then we're gonna pour a little bit of tonic over it. I guess we should discuss the lemon in the room, if you will.
Oh, yes.
Do you want to cut that in half? I'm going to put some in our drink.
It has been a very busy week, and Rachel and I did not get to test out these recipes together, unfortunately. So she had a unapproved recipe tester that was tasting the cocktails with her, and they gave some advice that was incorrect. That the cocktail was too tart, and how dare you even suggest adding lemon? And then sure enough, today Rachel made the cocktail for me for the first time, and I was like, could use some lemon.
And I was like, ah!
So we put the lemon in, and it's really good. You don't have lemon, so sorry. If you have any sort of citrus at home,
yeah, this is California. I bet you have a lemon.
Yeah,
somewhere.
or a lime, or an orange,
Yeah.
or a grapefruit, or something. Just a little bit of citrus, because the cocktail is it's a little bit bitter from the majority. And if you like bitter, you're going to love it. I think the cocktail's great before and after the lemon. The lemon just helps to, mellow out the bitterness a little bit. So.
Yeah, I'd say if you want Negroni vibes, no citrus. I like it without for sure. And it's really good with the cheeses without as well, because that's how we tested it. But on its own, I like a little bit of citrus with it. But it's whatever your vibe is. So if you have a lemon, go for it. Maybe taste them side by side, see what you like. If not, all good.
Yeah.
Secondary garnish.
Yes, I forgot about this. Little sprig of rosemary. Ooh, don't we swirl, right? Yes.
Yeah. Get it around the lip of the cup so that when you're drinking you can taste it. And this just brings a little nice herbiness to the cocktail since it is so fruity.
Cheers.
All right, cilantro.
Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. They already have their drinks.
Just like green juice. This is so healthy.
We should go for a run after this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If anyone wants to do a Benissimo run club where we eat a bunch of cheese and then run and
drink a bunch of cocktails and then run.
That sounds real fun. Ooh, it's good.
This is better than the one you made earlier.
Haha. Yeah, and again with the tonic, you don't want to shake with the tonic because you're going to get rid of that carbonation that you want. And you can put as little or as much tonic as you want in there. Our
Yeah.
cup's only allowed a little bit, but I honestly kind of like it like that because you're gonna get a lot of kind of like with the ice, you're getting some water in there and everything, and you don't want to water down too much. But again, it's totally up to you. You could put it in like a big pint glass if you wanted to and load it up with tonic. It's all up to your preference.
Yeah.
Or drink it straight up in a coupe, whatever.
Ooh, that would be cute.
Ooh,
Ooh,
We're obsessed with the
love a
coupe.
coupe.
All
I was
right.
gonna bring my green coupes, and she was like, "No, I'll bring the coupes because she hates me."
Yeah.
So
And then I didn't even bring any coupes.
no.
Yeah, and here we are.
Okay. Give me a cocktail.
Excellent. Here's one.
Cheese.
Got you one. Let's get into the cheese. All right. The first cheese we're trying is the lemon myrtle. So
We're obsessed with this cheese.
yeah, we are. It's this green coated one that is in a triangle. Although you said that to someone the other day. Were you the one who said it, like the triangular chease? At the dinner, and someone was like, "Which triangle?" Because it turned out they were all triangles. And she was like, "Oh, the big one. Sorry." It's very funny. So this is the green coated cheese. It is called lemon myrtle chèvre. Why did you end up ordering it? Because I'm so glad you did.
Oh no, so it was a cheese company I had tried before and hadn't had the cheese in a long time, and I just saw it in the catalog, and why not try it? And we actually did not even plan on the fact that it's green on the outside.
No, we didn't.
We had this cheese with another cucumber drink another time, and so when we were doing cucumber today, we're like, we gotta do this cheese, and it just so happened that the pre-order was also coming in, so it worked out perfect. It's this Oddballs South Australian company. You can keep going.
You're
You-
like,
you
I don't
got-
know
you got
anything
this
else.
deal,
I'm
but
just kidding.
I don't know why I ordered it. You know, try something new. Lemon myrtle. There's not really lemon cheese. I love lemon, so.
No, absolutely. I was wondering because we got the lemon myrtle from them, and we also got, it's called goat on a hot tin roof, which is super spicy. It's like habaneros, so that one's really good too. But this is a chèvre, which means it's a goat cheese, a fresh goat cheese made in South Australia. The milk is sourced from a bunch of small local goat farms. And it's a family-owned situation. They've been organic since 1999, which is insane. That's a really long time to be certified organic, so that's pretty crazy. And it is coated in native Australian lemon myrtle herbs. And the first time I tasted it, I'm going to be honest, I got most of the rind. So there's not really a rind on, I shouldn't say rind. Most of the
Outer
coating,
edge.
the outer edge, yeah. So it's a fresh chèvre. It's only aged for a couple weeks, really. And then they coat it in these herbs. I got like all herbs, and I was like choking, like, like, not like bad, just it was super citrusy and super herby.
So sour.
And then I tasted the inside of it, and I was like, this is some of the best fresh goat cheese I've ever had. It is so fluffy. It's so like fudgy, if that makes sense, consistency wise. And then I realized I had just done the ratio wrong, and that was on me. So if you get a little bit, if you get a little bit of the coating and a little bit of the inside, it's absolutely perfect.
And on a cracker. We were tasting it just
That's
like
true.
straight on a spoon.
Because, that's how we roll. Okay, did you taste it with the cocktail?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Okay, great.
We knew that.
So before we even came up with how to make the cocktail, we knew we wanted to do like a cucumber melon and probably use Midori. Yeah, Sarah was immediately like, this one. And I was like, great, I don't even need to try it.
Yeah.
But I did try it the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, this is great. So again, when we're tasting with beverages, we're going to take a little sip of the beverage. Then we're going to eat the cheese either on a cracker or not. We usually don't eat it on crackers like when we're testing like flavors and stuff, just because you do get more of the cheese and you can kind of figure it out a little more. But when we're just snacking, I usually put it on a cracker.
I think this one too, with like the super strong lemon flavor, you kind of want the cracker.
That's true, because it's almost like it's so strong, it's like a citrus essential oil. Like it's quite
Like a little bit
aggressive.
hot, too.
Yeah.
This one's not as much.
Mm.
Then, while you're still kind of snacking on the cheese, got the cracker in your mouth, then take a sip of the cocktail and get the flavor kind of meshing together.
Thank you. for
You're welcome.
enjoying. Quick, make a joke. Just kidding.
I'm out of jokes.
Wow. Okay, yeah, so it's awesome. It kind of mellows that slightly bitter flavor you might be getting from the lemon, especially if you didn't put in the citrus. And I think the citrus of it all just kind of goes together perfectly. And the cheese is so nice and tangy, it also helps. And we love a carbonated situation with the fresh cheese of all kinds. Oh, you're true. Yep. Okay. Make a joke. No, I did not prepare one. Okay, we need to start being more prepared. Okay. Are we liking the pairing? Okay,
That's great.
studio audience says yes. Yeah,
They
excellent.
approve. They were
Great,
paid to say
great.
that.
We got this, so it must be really good. Okay, I need another set. All right, the second cheese is an Irish cheese. This one's super exciting because we don't often get Irish cheeses, but a lot of our distributors around this time bring them in. So that's cool for us because, so I know some of you come in and you're looking for like really obscure cheeses and we want to get it for you, and it's often like a misconception that we can just order straight from the cheesemakers. We can in some cases, but in a lot of cases we have to go through a distribution company. If they don't have it, we can't get it. So that's always our first look. So it's just, you know, if we want Irish cheese all the time, a distributor might carry it, but they might not.
Only
so,
if we like want to have a lot of it all the time.
yeah, and then they'll have like minimums because they're like, well, if we're getting like an Irish shipment, we need to get a pallet, and then we have this, and it's just the ins and outs and logistics. So when we can get different kinds of cheese, we obviously do. So this is an Irish brie, which I had never had before. This is very exciting. It's called Tipperary brie. That is because it is made in County Tipperary. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Sounds right.
Okay, great. They advertise this as the Irish camembert, which I love.
Oh.
Yeah. And they brought it to market as that. That was how they sell it. It's handmade, 4th generation owners, aged about 8 to 10 weeks, and it's from Coolini Farm. And hints of mushroom. We got some rich cream, some sweetgrass. These are on the riper side, so you're going to get even more of that mushroom flavor. So let me try it. What do you think? Did you try it?
No, I haven't tried it yet. I was eating it today. We had another wheel out because I wanted to try it. I had tried it when it was a little bit younger. Didn't have as much flavor. Not really what I was looking for, but so I'm hoping now. I feel like the extra salty is going to go really well with the cocktail. And what about the rind? Is the rind edible, Rachel? Tell me about that.
I don't know. Is it? You seem to be eating it. So
I sure hope so.
rind is totally edible, as we always say. You're more than welcome to eat it. You're more than welcome not to eat it. It was funny. I brought a bunch of cheese on our annual ski trip like a week ago, and I brought a few bries, and I was like, I like looked away for a minute, and then I looked back, and I brought the Delice de Bourgogne. Everyone loves that. And only the rind was left, and I was like, okay, people liked it, but they didn't like the rind. I know, and then I was like, guys, come on, what's going on? But anyway, I tried to have no judgment here. So I do suggest trying it with the rind, but if it's too much for you, absolutely no problem. Are we getting some bitterness from the rind right now? Not really? Okay, cool. So that's the thing. So the rind of almost all cheeses, I was just thinking of Goudas, which you don't eat because it's wax, but of all the rinds that you can eat are always going to be stronger than the cheese inside, and the cheese, or the paste as we call it, the inside of the cheese, closest to the rind is going to be the strongest.
I was just thinking too, if you're not sure what the rind is going to taste like, or if it's going to have a big effect on the cheese, I almost think like, look at the moisture level, because this rind is still so dry. You know, like when you taste Delice or you taste Camembert at the riper end, the rind is so wet and like kind of sticky, and that's when it's super strong. But if it's kind of dry like this, or even like fromage, when it gets really, the fromage dauphinois, when it gets really ripe, the rind is still like dry and hard and more crusty like this, and it doesn't have a ton of flavor. Like overpowering flavor. So
That's a good point. You like the rind, studio audience? Oh, we don't like the rind. Okay, we're not sure. Got it.
Good factoid though.
Oh, good factoid. We got a thumbs up, and we're like, I don't know what that means.
You're doing a terrible job.
What if we had cue cards this whole time telling us what to say? Hi, my name is Rachel. I love Benissimo. We'll get one of those next time, right, Gina?
Yeah,
Okay,
teleprompter.
Yeah,
Ooh,
teleprompter.
yes. Or like little in-ear thing. Like,
Oh, sorry, this just in. The cheese is amazing. Nailed it.
and when you talk too much, like the Oscars, it just starts playing. Like, all right, Rachel,
I'm like,
you're
okay,
done.
goodbye.
That was playful.
Awesome. Yes, it was. What was I gonna say about the rinds? Something interesting? Probably not. Cool.
Have some St. Patrick's Day facts.
Oh, please.
Yes. I have a whole paper that I highlighted in green highlighter.
I
Rachel
highlighted
did
mine in yellow, and
wasn't thinking.
she was so upset at me. She looked at me and was just like, I'm just disappointed. It's like, Tell us about St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, St. Patrick, he was the patron saint of Ireland, so we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day on the day of his death. it kind of falls during the Lent season, and on St. Patrick's Day, they went to church in the morning and then celebrated in the evening, and the, prohibitions against the consumption of meat were waived, and so they would just like dance and drink and party and eat meat, and they would eat, what would they eat?
What would they eat? Meat
No,
and cabbage?
Yes, exactly.
Meat and cabbage?
It says Irish bacon and cabbage.
What's Irish bacon? What's Irish bacon? Oh God, we don't know.
That's what History.com told me.
Is it corned beef? Maybe.
Now it is. So some interesting factoids that I thought were interesting.
I think so.
Yeah. So St. Patrick was somebody who lived in Ireland. He was kidnapped and brought to Ireland as a slave when he was 16, and he later escaped and he returned to Ireland, bringing this idea of Christianity to his people. These are just the facts. This is not a religious class.
I was like, do we need to
We're
tell
just saying
everyone
facts.
this is a secular class? We support everyone's beliefs. We're just sharing some history.
Yes. One thing I thought was super interesting is that he explained the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, using the 3 leaves of the native Irish clover, the shamrock. So that was kind of cool. And then, can anyone guess where the first St. Patrick's Day parade was held? Anyone? Definitely not Ireland. It was America.
The opposite of Ireland. Where was it?
No, it was...
It was in Florida,
It was
right?
in Florida, yes. So it was held on March 17th in 1601 in a Spanish colony, which is now St. Augustine, Florida. So that was the first. Then, over a century later, 1772, some Irish soldiers were serving the military in New York City. They started really celebrating the parades in New York, and that's when it really just took off. So in 1848, a bunch of different New York Irish Aid Societies kind of grouped together to create one big New York St. Patrick's Day parade, and that was like the first really big one. And now, nearly 3 million people line to watch the 1.5-mile long parade, which takes more than 5 hours to get through.
That's crazy.
Parade.
In New York?
In New York. It's the biggest one.
Okay.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who
That's
knew?
crazy.
Oh, and this one was my favorite. Oh, we'll save these 2 facts for later.
Okay, we're going to save them for later. Get excited.
Fun more.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. But I thought that was interesting.
I think it's very interesting. Sarah turned to me earlier and was like,
Stop. I already know what you're going to say.
who knew St. Patrick's Day was religious?
So religious. Not like, I didn't realize they went to church on St. Patrick's Day. I obviously know Saint is in the name.
I was like,
I didn't know it was a church-going holiday.
Repeat what you just said. She was like,
We're
oh
learning
man.
it together, okay?
Yeah, we are. No, I know what you meant. Like that it originally started that way and that people do go to church and things like that. So, yeah, no. But it was just funny that you said it.
I know. Like, say it again out loud.
Yeah. And you were like, oh no. All right, everyone. Are we ready for a little
talking?
Sure.
Really was.
Yeah, you had none, but sure. Are we ready for a little pick-me-up? Yeah.
Yes, another one.
Woot. Okay, great. Are you ready?
Yes, please.
You're like, I need coffee. All right, so our next cocktail is inspired by the espresso martini that is so in vogue right now.
We've been waiting to do one.
Yes, we have.
We talk about it almost every class.
Every day. Every day.
Every single day. Where's my espresso martini?
So we wanted to make this Irish, obviously, given the non-religious St. Patrick's Day holiday. So we used all Irish things except for the coffee, but we got a local roastery, Dark Horse.
Close enough.
Yeah. So usually an espresso martini, well, really it can be anything. Usually you have espresso, you have a cream component, and then you have an alcohol component. So a lot of times it's vodka. As we said, we're unfortunately vodka haters, so...
I've had one with tequila before.
Tequila, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen one with mezcal, which is insane, like a smoky espresso. That would be really cool to try.
No thanks.
But when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, whiskey would work, right? So then obviously I got on the internet, and the internet was like, of course whiskey will work. And I'm like, excellent news.
The internet knows all.
It really does. And of all the whiskeys, obviously we had to choose Jameson. So Jameson is a great Irish whiskey. There are tons of smaller distilleries now making whiskey in Ireland, obviously. So definitely check those out if you're more interested in like doing like a sipping situation or not necessarily mixing. There's some really cool stuff. But an Irish whiskey is very complicated. It means it's a whiskey that's made in Ireland. The end. It's not like bourbon where it's got to be like 51% corn or rye and like all that
just
confusing
that it's
stuff.
made in Ireland?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So it tends to be smoother. It doesn't have that like smoky peatiness like a Scotch would, depending on where you're getting your Scotch from. So I tend to really like Irish whiskeys. When you don't want that like really strong bourbon flavor, you know, because you're getting like that bourbon, that rye, you're getting a spiciness to it. Irish whiskey just tends to be really mellow and perfect for mixing. So I'm really jazzed about it in this cocktail. So we're using Jameson. We're obviously using Bailey's because, you know, it's delicious. It's like an alcoholic milkshake. So Bailey's, the original Irish cream, is a combination of, there's some Irish whiskey in it. So we're doing double whiskey.
Great.
Some Irish dairy cream, so some cow cream, and cocoa, which I didn't actually know. There's just a little bit of cocoa in there. And it's made in Dublin and also in Northern Ireland. So they make it in 2 different places. It was first produced in 1971. And the cream is made by a certain creamery that's been supplying to Bailey's for more than 30 years. So I love that. So obviously we had to use Bailey's too because like cow cream, you know, like cheese. We're in the cheese business, yes. So we had to do.
There's a lot of cow cream in this business.
Yeah, so much cow cream in this business. And then we are also adding espresso. So I made this espresso using a stovetop method. Do people care?
Yes.
Okay.
How'd you do
It's like
it?
I can talk
no
about
idea.
coffee
I was
for
not
so long.
involved in any of this.
So the first time we tested it, we have an espresso machine in the back that I was kindly gifted by Gina. So we use that every day for our general coffee drinking habit. But I will say it doesn't produce super strong espresso. Like it's good, the flavor is amazing, but it's not as concentrated as it can be. So I was like a little bit like, oh boy, if I make stovetop espresso, is it gonna be too much? But it is not. We tried it and it's excellent.
Great.
So basically I should have brought it in, like it's a espresso maker. It looks, I don't know how, Google stovetop espresso maker.
The cute little silver
Yeah,
thing?
it's 2 different pieces that screw into each other. It's metal, and you put water at the bottom, and then you have like a little funnel thing that drops in. You put super finely ground espresso, like it should look like sand. There should be no chunks. So I love espresso. And then you put the top part screws on, and what happens is you put it on the stove top, literally. You turn on the burner, and you wait until you start hearing it go. It'll start like bubbling, and if you open the little top, the espresso is coming out this way. I should have looked into how this is made. I don't know.
Like
our studio
percolator?
audience is having a really fun. Yes, like a percolator.
We have those when we go camping.
Yeah, can you explain how that works?
Yeah, because there's a I was not prepared for this. There's a straw sort of thing, and when it bubbles, it boils. It comes out the straw, and the hot water is coming through the top, and then falling down onto the espresso, and it's just like this.
Yeah.
Circulator percolator.
Circulator percolator. Yes. That's what we're.
Don't quote me on any of that.
We're super good at physics and religion here at Benissimo, so please ask us all those questions. But the espresso that is made with these tend to be stronger than, unless you have like a really nice espresso machine, which I do not have. So we're kind of mixing an espresso martini and an Irish coffee. An Irish coffee.
Look how cute.
These were lent to us. These are vintage from the 1960s. They're delightful. We're gonna put our I'm like, what did we call it? Irish coffee teeny.
There we go.
In these. I would normally serve it in a coupe, so if you have a coupe, go for that. We just have these. They're super cute, so we have to use them, basically. But normally in an Irish coffee, you put hot coffee, so coffee brewed not as strong as espresso, some sugar, Irish whiskey, and then some whipped cream on top. So instead of the whipped cream, we're doing Bailey's, basically, adding more alcohol, but also a cream component. We are adding a rich simple syrup. Rich simple syrup is a 2-to-1 ratio of sugar to water, as opposed to a 1-to-1, which is a regular simple syrup. So basically, you just want to get more sugar in there with less like liquid volume. Mm-hmm. So we're adding a sweetener. So that's why this is the Irish coffee teeny.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you think the Baileys would whip into a whipped cream?
question back to you. Can we try this?
Maybe later. It takes a while to hand whip.
Oh my god, the other day we had a private dinner, which you're more than welcome to book. Sarah is the chef anytime. Just let us know, we'll give you details. It's always cheese focused, all the courses, and then we do a wine pairing with each. And for the dessert course, Sarah hand whipped. I was making fun of her, but she's a real chef, so she's like, of course I'm hand whipping. Literally, like I kept looking over at her, like, you still doing it? And you're like, ah!
I had to make a lot, and you start with, I made a triple cream brie, whipped cream. You have to start with the triple cream brie, which is super thick. So it's not just like whipping cream, you're like whipping a really thick consistency until you get whipped cream, and it was delightful.
It was so good, you guys. She used St.
She's like,
Angel.
is it gonna taste better because it's hand whipped? I'm like, yeah, okay, you'll see. And then she was just like, this is so good. There's some in the back.
It's so good. Yeah, there's some in the back. If you want to come in tomorrow, just stick a figure in. I'm just kidding. It was incredible, so highly recommend that. But maybe next time we should do that and put some whipped cream on top.
I didn't even think about it yet.
We could honestly go get it, but let's not. We're getting derailed. We're just getting excited. Okay, so let's make the Irish coffee teeny. So we're gonna start with, let's start with our Baileys.
Great.
We got, we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of Baileys in each drink, which is aggressive and I love it. You can do less if you don't, prefer cream, but we're all kind of eating cheese here, so I feel like we like cream.
You shouldn't be here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put in our Baileys. It just smells so good. All right, then we're gonna do our Jameson, so 1 ounce per drink. So again, this is for 2 drinks, 2 ounces, so I'm gonna do that. And then we're gonna do the espresso that we brewed, and when you do it on the stovetop, it comes out cloudy like this, which is kind of fun.
I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah. Air smell.
Smells like coffee.
Yeah. There's more over there in that little jar if you need.
Nice.
So if you're not super into coffee, you can honestly just do a splash. You'll just get like a Bailey's teeny, and like that's great. If you like coffee, definitely put all of it in it. You could even add some of the coffee if you have some left over from this morning. If you have an espresso, whatever, you can add more. That's totally up to you. One of those variable options there.
We love coffee.
We do. We might need to put more. We'll see. And then in this little tiny guy, we have rich simple syrup. Nailed it. This is, we're going to do 1/4 ounce into each cup, and you can do less if you don't like it super sweet, although it doesn't really turn out super sweet. Everything kind of cuts it, so I'm going to put the whole thing in. If you like it sweeter, just add a little bit more. The reason
So you're adding an ounce?
No, I'm adding 1/2 ounce.
This thing is at 1/2 ounce?
Well, it's like 3/4 ounce, and you put it kind of,
yeah, okay,
It's complicated because then it spills over.
Sorry,
it's a
yeah.
whole thing. Yeah. The reason why you use simple syrup instead of just sugar is because the sugar will have a hard time dissolving in a liquid drink, so that's why we use the simple syrup. Simple syrup is super easy to make. I know people buy it, that's fine too, but you can honestly just put it in the microwave.
Yes.
That's what I did. I just put a big Pyrex with like a ton of sugar and water, 2 to 1, in the microwave, and just enough to have it mix, and then I put it back in the fridge, but it actually doesn't even separate. Once you kind of shake it up, it's like clear and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And you can keep it in the fridge for, what do you think, like 1.5 weeks, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, just plain simple syrup, probably longer than that.
Yeah.
I have been looking into this because I like to do the flavored simple syrups too. You could use that as a vehicle to make a lemon simple syrup, hibiscus simple syrup is one that I make a lot, stuff like that. Those you would have way less shelf life in the fridge because there's a fresh component.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna put a ton of ice in here, and I'm using a Boston shaker, which is basically just a big cup and a small cup that fit into each other. Oh, don't worry about it.
I hate these.
I learned how to. So we also do cocktail classes at You and Yours, which I teach the cheese component, and then April, who is amazing and does the entire menu down there, does the cocktail component, and I always sit and watch while she teaches the cocktail, so I feel like I learn so much. Yeah. And then she always comes over during the cheese, and she's like, I have a question, so we like have a fun time, because she wants to learn, I want to learn. So hopefully this will go okay. I mean, you're supposed to put it at an angle, you're not supposed to put it straight on, because the angle will let it pop off. Yeah, if you put it straight on, you're gonna have to like bang it on the here.
I do it wrong, obviously. I put it straight on, and I have trouble getting it off, but if you like squeeze it, it helps break the suction too. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
And I actually think I did this wrong now that I'm thinking back to April's wise words. You're supposed to build in the smaller and then flip it, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter.
Tastes the same.
You want to get a nice shake on this because it's going to get nice and foamy like those espresso martinis that you order, at the restaurant. So
Yes, all the time.
all the time. And then as April describes it, you want to keep shaking until it's so cold you can't even hold it anymore.
Yeah.
You want to take a turn, or are you done from whipping?
Whipping the cream? No, I'm so jealous.
Okay, you could probably shake a little bit more, but I'm just gonna go for it so you don't have to hear me and watch me shaking. So it should just twist off. Yes, nailed it.
Wow, that was impressive.
And then if I was cool, you know how in the TikTok they like take it off and then they're like, ooh, like that? I'm gonna practice. You don't follow a bunch of bartenders on TikTok?
Just the way you
Great.
phrased it on the TikTok.
I'm gonna get really good at it, and then it's gonna be like a show where I'm like doing this and it's falling and it's pouring, and I'll probably pour it all over Sarah. It'll be great. Okay, so when you're using a Boston shaker, you want to use a Hawthorne strainer. That's what this is called. So it just fits really nice right here, and it's kind of, you can do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
know
you
that.
just hold it, and then we're gonna strain it. And it's just super creamy and amazing. You could honestly add some cocoa to this too if you wanted.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Make it a little chocolate.
Or if you had some chocolate, you could do like some chocolate shavings over the top.
Absolutely.
We're getting really fancy with this garnish.
Yeah.
Espresso beans. Our plan was to do the chocolate-covered espresso beans on the drink, but they just sink to the bottom, so that doesn't really work.
We tried.
Yeah.
But now you just get to eat them, so it's great.
Maybe if you had like a little zester, like a little microplane, you can like shave some of the chocolate over
Like
the
a
top.
nutmeg?
Yes, exactly. Like a little powder
Oh
over
my
the
god,
top.
that is really cute.
It would
okay,
work.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Just
but
be
now-
careful of your fingers.
So dramatic. Put some little espresso beans in the top. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see? Without
You
spilling.
could probably see in your own drink. So.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
So
Concha.
cute. Oh, cheers, Gina.
Yeah, oh, Gina has hers in a coupe, which
I
is
do.
really the appropriate presentation of it, but
Very nice. That is delightful. I could.
You
do
haven't
more
had it
coffee.
yet. Yeah.
No, I haven't had it yet.
Go for it.
No, it's delicious.
Okay. You're like, it's too late. My bedtime's in 2 hours. Wrong time. So good.
7:42. Nothing.
One of the reasons. Wow, that's really good. I could just. That's like a milkshake. And
You
it's
know, I
got
could
that
just, like,
nice
drink
like
this
foam
whole
on
thing.
top. Yeah, which is holding the espresso beans too.
Yeah.
It's nice. So one of the reasons why we wanted to do this drink is because a lot of times people are very wary of pairing like coffee or tea or anything kind of like strongly flavored and something that you wouldn't necessarily think of pairing with cheese, but it pairs super well with cheese. So this is a fun experiment because if you're like, oh, coffee and cheese, it's a great combo.
Yeah. We find that coffee pairs well with a lot of cheeses. Like lots of
So
savory.
Yeah, exactly. So the first cheese we're doing is in the bottom left-hand corner. These pieces, the kind of yellowish triangles. So that's the first cheese. This is called Mossfield Organic. We're having a lot of organic cheeses today, which is great.
Fancy.
Going really well with our green juice. So this one will be good with the cucumber melon as well. I'd say both of these cheeses would be good. We failed to mention that, but we say it in other classes. Try all the cheeses if you have any left with the other ones and see. The lemon myrtle might be weird with the coffee, but maybe not. Because I've
You
had
can try
like,
that.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, like they have espresso tonics where you add espresso with tonic water and then a bit of citrus, and that's really good. So I'm thinking we ate all of the lemon myrtle because it's so delicious. But next time, someone try it, let us know. Sorry, so back to Mossfield. This is an Irish cheese. It's a Gouda style cheese, so you're gonna get that like kind of butterscotchy flavor, a little bit like it's sweet. It's just delicious. Probably my favorite. I don't know, is Gouda or Alpine style my favorite style of cheese? I go back and
Alpine
forth. Yeah, every day. But anyway, so usually Goudas are made in the Netherlands, and I'm assuming that's why they're calling it Gouda style.
Yes.
And it's made in county, oh boy, why? Ofali? Our Irish, she doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know. Again, it's been organic for a super long time. It was named Best Overall Organic Product a couple years in a row at the National Organic Awards, so they're very proud of their organic heritage.
Love that.
Which is really cool, because to be certified organic, especially in Europe, is like, and here, it's expensive. You have to pay for like inspectors to come out and everything, and so we always say people come in asking for like grass-fed cheese, organic cheese, and it's a lot of like, well,
They're practicing organic.
exactly, like basically they are organic, they are grass-fed, and it's just that they don't want to pay the people to have to come out and give them the certification year after year.
Yep.
So we source all of our cheeses from mostly like smaller cheese makers, some bigger ones, but they're the ones that are importing to a bunch of different places, and they all have really amazing practices. So though it's not certified organic, you can pretty much guarantee they're not using like anything crazy like pesticides. Like they're not doing that to their cows and their grass that the cows are eating. So.
Because exactly what the cow is getting is gonna be what you get in your milk. If you're wanting the best tasting cheese, you want the best tasting milk, you want the best quality of life and, you know, vibe for your cows.
Yeah, you want the best vibe for your cows. The cows got to be vibing, because then the milk is vibing, and then their cheese is great.
Exactly, you get it.
Yeah,
You get it.
Do we sound like we're Gen Z? Are we doing it? Okay, so did you taste it yet?
Yes,
together?
I actually
Yeah,
haven't
what do
tasted
you
it.
think?
This is one of our Cheese Lovers Club cheeses. So cheese of the month. It was Irish themed, obviously. And it's delightful.
Mm-hmm.
It's saltier than I expected, which I like. I like a really salty bite with the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
The texture's nice too. It's really creamy. Because I feel like maybe if you got some of those crystals in there, it might not be good with the coffee.
I don't know, but it's so that so you get crystals as the cheese ages. So this is a younger Gouda, not super young because it's not like completely creamy, but aged for a couple of months. I feel like you get those butterscotch flavors as it ages, and it would actually be good with the coffee because it's like a caramel macchiato. Like
I know. I just like the texture.
yeah, no, I do too. Well, maybe we'll do that next time.
Yeah.
I mean, it has whiskey in it, and those cheeses pair super well with whiskey, so
that's
I'm
true.
sure it works.
Yeah. The super aged Goudas, yeah.
Yeah. Delightful. So that was Mossfield, and then Grocha is the next one. So Grocha is an awesome cheese that we almost always carry. This was a suggestion to try with coffee from Eamon, who used to work here. He left to pursue another career, how dare he. But he always loved eating Grocha with coffee, and I was like, really? That sounds gross.
Yeah.
Was basically how I felt. But then I tasted it with the cocktail. Again, very difficult job. Just having a really hard day at work. Had to make some cocktails, had to eat some cheese. Tasted it, and it was amazing. So I want you to taste it because you haven't tasted it yet together. So Grocha is a goat cheese, 100% goat. It's pasteurized. It's from Spain. It's only aged a few months, so it's nice and creamy still. It's definitely got a goat flavor, but it's not like anything overwhelming. I don't find it to be like super barnyardy or even super grassy. It's really nice and creamy with like a goaty tang.
It's a little bit drier than I
Is it?
remember. I
Usually?
haven't had it in a while.
Yeah. See, we always need to revisit cheeses because when we don't eat it for a while, sometimes our flavor memories can be lost. Or if you're like me, all of your memories. I'm like, what just happened yesterday? It doesn't have to do with the cocktails. It's just me.
Your old age.
My old age. What do you think?
It's good. I like it.
Yeah, so it's nice and tangy. It's a traditional Catalan cheese, so that's kind of in the Basque region. And it almost went extinct in the 1980s, but a group of young cheesemakers got the recipe and decided to reinvigorate the cheese making process there. So now we have it and we're very happy. That actually happens a lot with these cheeses. So it's like small batch wines. It's just like sometimes the person who makes the wine or makes the cheese is just like, nah,
I'm done with this.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm retiring. I'm doing this. I'm moving.
And then someone picks it up.
Exactly, and either you lose it or someone picks it up, and in this case, someone picked it up, so that's awesome. They aged it in caves in order to enhance the flavor. The rind is edible, though again, it's going to be really strong. It's probably going to be like weird and crunchy.
Yeah, I left mine off. I didn't.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't eat the rind on this
Yeah,
one.
me neither. This cheese is super similar to Osso Arati. If you've had that, that cheese has won World's Best Cheese a number of times. That's actually a sheep's milk cheese, but it's from over the mountains, the Pyrenees in France. So they make them on separate sides. This is goat's milk. Osso Arati is sheep. They have a similar nutty flavor, a kind of tanginess. The sheep version, so the Oso Arati, or right now we have the, how do you say it? Abai?
Abai.
Yeah, we're really, this is a,
Betel.
yeah. Can you help us, Gina? That's what, okay.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we're doing it.
Practice betel.
Our new old favorite cheese, very similar to Oso Arati, has that sheep's milk, and it just gives a nice richness to it, but so does the goat's milk. And I kind of like it because it's tangy, and you'd be like, maybe I don't know if I'd pair it with coffee, but I think it actually works because of the richness of the Baileys and everything.
And the nuttiness
Kind
of
of-
the cheese, I feel like melts nicely.
Exactly, like it cuts down on the tanginess, and the nuttiness kind of gets embraced by the coffee, and it's all just like a big happy family.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
That was great.
Right.
It is drier than I remembered.
I never snack on Garocho. Why don't I? I know. We all have our cheeses that we snack on and cheeses that we don't, and then sometimes we revisit the ones we don't snack on and we're like, this is really
I
good.
forgot about this cheese.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even though we have all of these cheeses. Okay. Well, that's what, oh, you have some more St. Patrick's facts. The non-religious festival of St. Patrick's.
No. So let's see. Irish immigrants spreading across the United States in lots of different traditions, kind of spreading around the United States. In 1962, they started dyeing the Chicago River, which everyone still sees on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And
That can't be good. Like, why are we doing that?
well, let me read you the fact. The pollution control workers used to dye to trace illegal sewage. And they thought that the green dye might just be a fun, since they're already doing it, might be a fun thing to also celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So they dye it green. And then that very first year that they did it, they put over 100 pounds of green vegetable dye into the river. And it kept the river green for over a week. And now they use under 40 pounds of dye.
Okay.
And it keeps it green for just a few hours.
Okay.
So there is a reason they did it, and now they're just tying it to St. Patrick's
Yeah, I was like,
Day.
why are we,
No.
like climate change?
No,
Here we are, I
to
don't
track
know.
sewage.
Great. Great, we're tracking sewage of the river. Excellent.
Happy
So is
St.
the-
Patrick's Day!
Wait, so is the green bad? Does the green mean there's sewage?
Not right. No, I don't think anymore.
Okay.
No, not anymore.
It's like, is it gonna turn green? How dirty is our water?
No, and it's all vegetable dye. It's pretty
Okay,
funny.
great.
I actually saw a video of the one this year.
Mhm.
They're on like a Guinness boat.
That's
and
amazing.
it's in powder form. And then the guys that are throwing the powder, they're in like these white Guinness like track suits. And they're chucking the powder into the river. And obviously it's windy and the wind is blowing. So by the end, this one guy is just covered in the powder. It's great.
The Windy
Look it up.
City.
Yes.
They really should have predicted this.
Yeah. And then the last one that we thought was pretty funny
Yeah.
is that traditionally it's been a religious occasion. Who knew?
Once again.
But up until the 1970s, Irish laws actually mandated that the pubs be closed on St. Patrick's Day. But then in 1995, so not that long ago, they began this national campaign to, bring tourism to Ireland and Irish culture and to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So now the pubs are open.
Pubs are open.
She did. Do we have any questions along this? No questions today.
No question. We have fans of the lemon myrtle.
Excellent.
Love
Great. Join us. Join
Any,
us here
any
in the
favorite
fandom.
pairings or favorite cocktails?
Just yums.
Did
Lots
anyone
of
try
yums.
the tapenade? The tapenade would have been good with the first one.
That's true. It's very nice. You put some parsley in there, which I love.
I did, some garlic.
Well, y'all,
We've
this
come
was
to the end.
amazing. We've come to the end. We must leave you and go drink 18 more of these and then stay up all night and then work tomorrow. We just really appreciate you participating in this. We obviously have the best time doing
Yes.
this. It makes our job super fun, and we appreciate you supporting. Thank you to our studio audience. Great.
Wow.
We have a bunch of fun classes coming up. I'm doing a Sours and Stinkers class tomorrow at Vino Carta, or at rather Venissimo in North Park. We still have some spots open for that. That's going to be super fun. I'm excited. I've never paired sours before, so obviously I'm kind of leaning heavily on my beer partner Jean here, but
Yes.
it's going to be awesome. It's been a super successful class in the past, so I'm kind of carrying on the legacy of Sours and Stinkers, if you will. Me being the stinker, obviously. The beer being the sours. What else do we have going on?
Next Sunday, if you're a fan of the virtual classes, we have like our 15th or something like that for
Something
Mosh with
crazy.
Friends. We're doing drunken cheeses. So we're gonna get drunk and eat the cheese. No, not really. All the cheese is either soaked in beer, wine. We have one soaked in gin. We have one that's gonna be a whiskey one. So all super fun booze infused cheeses. So that's super cool. Booze infused.
I love
yes.
that. We should have called it that, booze infused.
Shit, it's too late
It's
now.
great. Drunken cheeses is
Yeah.
great. We have a bunch of cool stuff coming up too. Dawn's doing some classes at Grafted Cellars and Vista. Right now we just got a mead and cider class on the calendar. It'll be up on the website soon. And San Diego Cheese Week is also coming up the week of, is it like April 24th? That's the Wednesday, but
Yeah.
like the 20th. Kind of that week where we're doing a bunch of different classes all over San Diego. That's in the lead up to Liquid City Cheese Expo. Sarah and I, hopefully, well, you'll definitely be there.
I'll definitely be there.
Venissimo is going to have the best table, hands down. We're going to have raclette machines. It's going to be amazing. Just melty cheese, just straight into your mouth. I'm just kidding. Can you imagine the burns? Oh God, no.
Sign this
gonna
waiver.
Sign this waiver. It's like a luge. No, we're going to put it on some things. It's going to be delicious. If you want to sign up for that, go to the Venissimo's website, and there's a link to sign up for the Liquid City Cheese Expo,
Yes.
and definitely come say hi at the booth. And yeah, check out our website for all the fun stuff, and come visit us in the shop. We love when you all come in, and
We're always here.
yeah. Okay, like 5 days a week. It's fine. They don't overwork us. Everything's
No,
fine.
no.
Everything's fine. All right, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Hey, doctors.
Can you
Well
imagine?
done, ladies.